Hello, my name is Dr. Michelle Maidenberg. Today I'm going to be talking about our self-worth. So, one thing that we have to be thinking about is when we do things in our relationships, like asserting ourselves, making our needs known, setting boundaries. It's a wonderful, wonderful way of cultivating and proclaiming your self-worth. Now, what do I mean by that? If we don't express and we don't advocate for our self-worth, what we end up doing is we allow people, for example, right? We teach people how to treat us. So if we're not expressing ourselves, then it could actually give the message that it's okay to be treated in the way that we're being treated. And that's despite whether the person's intentionally, trying to be hurtful or offensive or whatever the case is. And sometimes we'll assert ourselves for reasons like, we want the other person to change, or we think if we express ourselves that because the person needs to know that they're wrong. And those reasons can be true and wonderful, and we do definitely have that inside of us, but we can't always be guaranteed of that because that has nothing to do with us. That has to do with the other person. People only make change if they're ready to and they're willing to. Otherwise, it's just hopefulness that we have. And we can't force that on anybody as much as we want it. So the reason I'm talking about this is, I've had several, patients come in and, where they haven't asserted themselves. And actually one person I was talking to tonight talked about, being distressed because, especially now in this political climate and everything going on, she finds that she's confronted with this person in, her friend group, I'll call it, that says offensive things and, basically uses kind of labeling terms and other things which are offensive to her. So we talked about, like, should she say something or not, or how would she say it? And we talked about all these concepts. And she realized that the idea of saying it for him to change or for, him to have awareness is not necessarily realistic. But if she doesn't say something, to set a boundary with him because she's so uncomfortable to be around him because he expresses these things, pretty overtly. And it's offensive, and she gets really distressed afterwards, that it's okay to set a boundary and make her needs known. And that has to do with her leaning into and proclaiming her self-worth, that her needs are important and that it's okay to pay attention to them and that it's okay for her to ask for what she needs. And no matter what the person thinks or feels, she doesn't really have any control over that. So when you're not asserting yourself and you're not making your needs known and you're not setting boundaries, you're actually leaning outside of your self-worth. So we always want to lean into it. We always want to, again, facilitate our self-worth. And that's for us. That no one could take away, ever. So our guided meditation is going to be on enhancing our self-worth. So if you could sit up straight, and if you feel comfortable enough, if you could close your eyes. And I want you to imagine just paying attention, right, to your body and your breath, inhaling and exhaling. And noticing the depth of your breath. And your airways, all the air that goes in and out of our lungs and provides us with nurturance and breath. And I want you to imagine a plant. And you giving love and dedication and commitment to this plant, where you first put the seed in, you give it sunlight and water, and think about this plant as it's something so important to you that you put all of your heart and energy into, that you want to see its growth. And each day you approach the plant, you make sure that it has enough light, enough water, and support so that it could grow. And then day after day, you approach this plant with love and care, and you wait eagerly for it to bud and surface and peek out of the soil. And you wait patiently and gleefully. And every day, you nurture it. And it's become so important that if you need to shift the plant to get the best sunlight, you do that. If you notice the need for more water, you do that. And finally, all of your work and efforts come to fruition. And as you awake in the morning and look at your plant, you see its growth, the fruit of your labor. And think of yourself in the same way, that each and every day you give yourself little things that you need so that you could grow, you could be enhanced, you could be nurtured, that you make your needs known, that you assert your needs, that you set boundaries and cultivate self-care. Because every single time you put effort, you're building your roots, your core, you're strengthening yourself, your self-confidence, your self-worth, your self-love, which you deserve. And each and every day, you put the time and the effort and the energy. And again, notice your breath. And when I count to 3 and when you're ready, you could open your eyes. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you. I hope you and your families are safe and healthy. Thank you.